spring information session on the MMR program. Let me switch this display box to show monitor 2. So my name is Marcos Cunha, and I'm the director of the MMR program. I teach in the MMR program. I'm a faculty in the marketing department. I also teach MBA students. So if you haven't done yet, please sign in so we can get your information. And we will have a brief presentation of the MMR program for those people who are here in person and online. And following that, we will have some of our students talk about their experience in the program, and they will also be here for any questions you might have about the program. So I'm going to talk from the program directors and faculty perspective, and also, but then we also you also can hear about the program from the students. So welcome to our information session. So, a brief overview of the MMR program. The MMR program is an 11-month program that's STEM designated, science, technology, engineering, and math. That is from June to May. And it is not a program that is designed to be a stepping stone for a PhD program. It's a program that's designed to train professionals for the insights and market intelligence and research industry. So you're trained to acquire skills that are going to be directly applicable to your new job. So we tend to think about this program not only it's not only going to be just methods. So you will learn methods, you will learn how to use statistical tools, but you also want to make sure that you learn how to think about business and how to acquire soft skills and how to use the knowledge that you acquired throughout the program to support decision-making for companies in the market. So sometimes people ask me, who is the MMR program for? And some people are considering a master's in business analytics. What's the key difference? I think the key difference is first, master's in business analytics is a lot more focused on programming and wrangling large data amounts of data to be able to find some relationship between variables. So it's a lot about the what's going on. The MMR program is a lot more about the how things happen and why things are happening. So we're looking for people that are interested in understanding behavior, people that are interested in understanding how consumers and companies make decisions, that will affect their consumption or that will affect their business. So it's a lot more interest rather than getting a large amount of data and data sets and combining and finding relationships, but it's more understanding why the decisions are being made that way. So understanding of human behavior and psychology is an important factor in the MMR program. So we want people that are curious and motivated, mature and goal-oriented, they're team players, they're passionate about problem solving, and they're fast learners. And I think we're very successful at attracting those kind of students here, and that's the reason why employers like to recruit from the program so much. In terms of majors, so common majors that you see MMRs coming from will be business, economics, psychology, sociology, mathematics, statistics, and communications. Right? So a lot of times people think this is just a degree for people who did their undergrad in marketing, and that's not the case. We are actively looking for people with different backgrounds in sociology, anthropology, psychology, anybody who's interested in understanding consumer behavior, like communications, rather than just bringing people that are interested in marketing and in business. So, and we believe that this variety of thoughts, right, or this diversity of thought also help our students to have a broader perspective of the many different types of behaviors you can expect in the industry when you're trying to study consumers. So I think the four big pillars of our program are the academics, the support that the students get, the career services that we can provide, and also your hands-on experience. So in terms of academics, we offer you like state-of-the-art in terms of knowledge and software and equipment for you to learn the skills that are going to be necessary for you to become successful in the industry. You also, you have access to world-class faculty. They are, internationally recognized for their research, teaching, and their service. Not only that, you're not, I think the students can vouch for that. You get like, great access to the faculty. It's not like just somebody that come in teaching in a big classroom. So the MMR program is kind of designed to be smaller in size. It's a cohort program. So we take all the courses together to form these strong relationships with people that become your friends and perhaps become your colleagues once you get your jobs. So in terms of support, we have a very strong alumni network with over, she was just asking, how old is the program? So the program was founded in 1979. So it was the first, and it is the most recognized program of this nature in the entire world. It's considered the gold standard for marketing insights and marketing research. Okay, so if anybody wants to hire like very talented researchers, they are going to go look into this program. So the alumni network now is probably with this graduating class is going to be over 750 students. The vast majority of the alumni are still strongly connected to the program. Strongly, always willing to help. We have people who have, for example, Rob Arnett is going to be a speaker next week. He's a grad from the class of 1982. Right? So he's still strongly connected to the program, part of our advisor board as well. So we see that happening every class. People become not only attached to their classmates, but also attached to the MMR program and the faculty. It includes a mentorship program. As part of the support of this network, you will be assigned, or based on your preferences, you'll be, based on your rankings of the potential mentors, you're going to be assigned to a mentor that will help you throughout the program. Not only help you to think about the coursework, but also helping you to think about your resume, what it should look like, help you to interview or practice for interviews and so on. We also have a speaker series, which we bring about 22 speakers throughout the academic year, especially in the fall and the spring semester for the most part, where they will talk about the research that they do in the industry, and also we do a social after that allows you to learn to acquire how to learn how to network with people that are perhaps like they are high level executives, but you learn how to talk to them in a much more informal setting. We also have a research summit. It's a really cool event we do every 2 years. And we bring about 200 people here to Athens, not only people that have graduated from the program, but people from the industry, where we have like a mini conference. So here's some evidence of the strength of our alumni network. We're always meeting somewhere. Here we have an example of 4 decades of the MMR program. Robert Nag just mentioned to you, class of 82. We have people from the 90s, from the 2010s and so on. So people really, whenever there's a conference or something or an event, there's always some activity that you do to get people together. So we also, we're gonna probably jumpstart this again because we kind of stopped it during the pandemic, but we also do, our MMRs are all over the country, and all over the world. So we try to have alumni events planned for different cities where we have large number of MMRs. Here's again examples of our executive seminar series and some pictures from our socials, which are, you know, events that we plan for after the speaker session, where you can, you know, talk to the speakers and you can eat and drink on our dime. Our research summit. Okay, so here are some of our speakers. And in terms of career services, we support students with a resume networking and negotiating workshop. We try to prepare you for our career fair. Okay? We talk about the different type of interview that you might be facing during the interview process. Help you to think about your career, the job search, and if you when you receive an offer, how to negotiate to try to get a better offer. We are also often promoting our students on social media so they can get the exposure. So people that are thinking about hiring our students, they start learning more about their profiles. So here's just a picture of our dedicated career fair. A lot of times we have more employers than students, and employers, a lot of times they have multiple positions. So I think on average, we have about 2 to 3 positions open for MMR students for each student we have in the program. And here's some examples of our social media promotion. We also have a private LinkedIn group where alumni interact, and if they're trying to recruit people, especially if it's after graduation, you're a couple years out and you have your job and maybe you're looking to move into another city or a different job. Going to this LinkedIn group is a great opportunity to learn about what jobs are out there, because we keep posting, and alumni of the program that are trying to recruit other MMRs, they keep posting jobs on this LinkedIn group. In terms of hands-on experience, our program includes a year-long corporate sponsored projects where you're going to act like if you were a research supplier to a client, and you're going to be mentored by a faculty. So during the fall and spring semesters, you're going to help a client to solve a research problem, right? So in the case, so I'm mentoring a UPS project. This year, we did actually a follow-up from last year. Last year, we did a segmentation project for them. And they actually implemented our segmentation at UPS that we did as project as a students and myself mentoring them. And this year, they're using that segmentation to try to think about like how to adapt that communication in the products that they offer to these different segments. So it's really cool thing that not only, it's not like just a student project, it's a hands-on real world experience. And it's so awesome when you can see that like they're actually using the project to make their businesses better. We do field trips. We just recently went to Chick-fil-A, to the Hatch, which is their innovation center. Chick-fil-A, they probably have like 10 of our students that are working there in research. So our projects in class, they're not theoretical. They're like, you have to maybe collect data or work with data sets that are real world data. So you can learn about like, become familiar with looking at data and identify patterns, and also doing data analysis rather than just talking theoretically about research problems. So your projects will usually involve like, you know, different types of research methods such as qualitative research, quantitative research, surveys, and business experiments to give like a really good exposure in terms of hands-on use of marketing research. So here's some pictures from past field trips. Presentation of corporate projects. The corporate projects that we were talking about, we often go to the company's headquarters and present the end product of that year-long project. But it's not all work. We do have a lot of fun, right? So here's myself and some of the students playing tennis, tailgating, going to a farm, apple picking or whatever. So students form really, really strong relationships. Some, are friends for life. We have students from the early 90s that they still go on trips together, right? Because they made like really great friends in the program. So I talked a little bit about the legacy of the program, since it was the first program of this nature, but also like it's highly recognized. So this is a research report. Is this the Green Book trends in the industry, the research industry trends. And according to this report, the UJ MMR program was 3 times as frequently mentioned as all other MMR programs combined. So there's very high level of awareness about our program in the industry that recognize the kind of talent that we produce in this program. So variety of employment opportunities. Said on average, students receive 2 offers. And these are the kind of employers they hire from the program. So you might recognize brands more on this side. Those are like what we call client side employers. And companies on this side here, Mark, Burke, 8451, Insights Consulting, Kantar, Miller Brown, they are companies that are research suppliers. You might not recognize that they're not household names because they're not consumer brands, but they are the ones that do the research for a lot of these brands that we're seeing there. So students are recruited by both sides of the industry, both by clients and suppliers. So variety of employment opportunities. So here's where our students work. So all over the country. We attract students from all over the country, and we also place them all over the country. So this is the kind of positions for which companies recruit from the program. Some examples: consumer scientist, associate consultant, senior research analyst, associate consultant for market research, and so on. So that's the kind of positions or the job titles that students that graduate from the program will have. Here's some example of our alumni. We have Mike Kasling is at Chick-fil-A, Erica is at Disney Plus, Roberto is at Samsung, Roberto I think 2000 or 2001. Thomas Walker is from class of 99. He's the director of insights at eBay. Eleanor, which is a recent grad, she went to UPS first, but now she's at Bain Consulting. So you do see like how our students reach high levels, in terms of becoming executives of like, very, very recognizable companies. So again, why the MMR program is a growing industry. So market research analyst number 9 on the US News World Report in terms of best business jobs. And the US Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts a 22% employment increase between 2020 and 2030, much higher than the average growth rate of 7% for all the other occupations. So there's a lot of potential in this industry. So in terms of employment, we have a long-standing 100% placement rate in the program. We don't usually have issues placing students. Even during the pandemic, the year of the pandemic, that the pandemic hit during spring break, which was like at the peak of the recruiting season, right? Even that year, we had 100% placement program. So starting salaries in the $65,000 to $90,000. You will see like why this range. Client side companies tend to pay more. They tend to pay more on the 80 to 90, and the supplier companies tend to pay more on the $65,000 to $75,000 range. And we did some survey a few years back, and incomes 3 years after graduation tends to be in the $90,000 to $125,000 range. In terms of financial support that the program can offer to students incoming to the program, for the students that are out of state, there is the opportunity to be nominated to an out-of-state tuition waiver for both domestic and international students. We don't have control over who get those, right? All we can do is to nominate the students to the grad school, and the grad school grants or not this tuition, the in-state tuition waiver. So, meaning instead of paying out-of-state tuition, you'd pay in-state tuition. We do have graduate assistantships, which include a tuition waiver and a stipend. So if you all the MMR graduate assistantships, they are merit-based. So they're based on the quality of your application. So if you receive an assistantship, you receive a tuition waiver and a stipend in exchange for working 13 hours a week for the program, some capacity, whether it's the student ambassador, social media coordinator, or speaker series coordinator, or working supporting faculty in the program. We have a Eli Lilly diversity scholarship in the amount of $5,500. We have 2 of those that are paid over the summer. And diversity at UGA does not mean race, right? Diversity can be, for example, you grew up in a rural area, you grew up in a single parent home, you grew up in an urban area. So there's several factors that influence, like, or your first generation college. So there are several factors that are taken into account in terms of defining what diversity means. There's also the academic common market. So if you are from one of these states here, except for North Carolina, that opt out, there is a possibility that you can, in Texas does not count either. Not because they opt out, but because they have an MMR program. So other southern states that do not have an MMR program, they qualify to the academic common market, which allows you to pay in-state tuition even if you're out of state. So you wouldn't need to ask for a tuition waiver. We have a few states that are already qualified for that. That's not something we can do. It needs to be started by the student. If a student from a state that's not the database that right now includes Arkansas, Tennessee, Florida, Louisiana, and South Carolina. If a student from, let's say, Alabama, which is not in the database right now, they don't have an MMR program, they would have to initiate that process to be added to that database once they are accepted into the program. Applying to the MMR program, it is a basic graduate school application. You have letters of recommendation, your resume, your statement of purpose, unofficial transcript from all institutions attended, and then there's tests like GMAT and GRE. And for international students, they might be required to take a TOEFL or Duolingo. If they did their undergrad in a US university, there is a chance that we might be able to waive the TOEFL or Duolingo. So for GMAT and GRE, we have waivers available based on academic or performance experience. So if you have like a really strong academic, so kind of like the threshold that we look at is kind of like if you have a 3.7 or higher GPA in a peer or aspirant institution as compared to UGA, that will usually grant you a waiver. So if your institution is not a peer or a aspirant institution, but it's an institution that will be ranked lower than UGA, we'll still look into giving you a waiver, but it will probably require higher GPA, and we're going to look into what kind of courses you have taken. So you also might get a tuition waiver based on your experience. Maybe you've been out on the market working working with something related to research, maybe not market research, but working with data, and your experience, grants you to waive your test requirement. Yeah, for more information, you can always go to our admission portion of our website. So we are, we try to keep the program news up to date on social media. So please follow us, and we will keep that information flowing. So I would like now to open to questions. Let me see if there is questions.
We haven't gotten any questions.
No questions. Okay. Any questions from
the GMAT or GRE?
Hmm?
Do you guys prefer one of the?
No, we're indifferent between the GMAT and GRE. It's mostly like students' preference. Okay. Whichever test they think fits better their test taking abilities, they take that, and it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So if we're applying for the program straight out of undergrad, are you looking for anything in particular in terms of work experience?
I mean, we know that if you're a full-time undergrad student and going to go straight from the undergrad to the MMR program, you might not have a lot of experience, but like to see that you did you did something during the summer, right? That you got involved in projects that allow you to apply the skills that you're learning in school. But we're not going to compare you to somebody that's been working for 2 or 3 years, because you don't have the same opportunity. So, and I think like the class profile tends to be like, on average over time, about 50% of people come straight from undergrad. 50% of people have some experience. So I know some class might be 60-40 or whatever, but we have this mix, and usually the undergrads that we admit straight from the program, they are really strong, MMR candidates, and the people that hire them are really happy with the quality of it, because we bring students that are very high quality, and then we train them to become researchers with some of the best resources and faculty that we have all over the world. So the final product, combining the rough diamond with the lapidation process that we do here, creates like a really good product that companies come recruit from our program like every year. The same companies, year over year, is because if you're producing high quality employees, they want to make sure they are connected to that pool of talent.
Madison wants to know about what % of MMR students receive graduate assistantships.
So we are capped at 50%. Okay, so based on university rules, we cannot give assistantships to more than 50% of the class. So to some extent, depends on the size of the class. Also, if we have a larger class and we have let's say we have 30 students, right? That potentially could offer 15 assistantships. We don't have enough for 15 assistantships, and I hate to for students to feel like, hey, this person received an assistantship and he or she does nothing, right? Why him or her and not me? And that kind of creates some negative feeling. So I don't think, I think like the most we go for would probably be, I think we have enough work to keep 10 graduate assistants busy. And the graduate assistantship, they are determined by the MMR program. So it's based on the quality of your application. But there are also other opportunities on campus. You know, I know Rob did some graduate assistantship that he was already involved with before he joined the program. And other departments may offer assistantships, and they might think like MMR students are a great fit for that kind of assistantship.
The graduate school always wants assistants too, like I called them for something and they were like, do you need a grad assistantship? And I was like, no. Yeah, they're like, if you ever need anything, let us know.
Yeah, so yeah, contact the graduate school. So.
Did
Okay,
you say on average there are 30 students in the program? Or-
So now I think generally speaking, the past 4 before this class is a small class, this class is 17 student
Oh,
class.
wow.
The previous 4 years, our average was 25 students. Okay, we do have demand from employers to grow the program, but we're not willing to bring people if they don't have the quality of the students that we want. And we also want to keep the experience, you know, of that like cohort experience to be the same. So I think up to 30, we should be able to generate the same kind of experience that previous classes. But like if we grow the program to 40, 45, 50 people, that makes, you know, it loses that like high touch feeling that the program has. So any other question, Katie?
Can students with a 3-year undergrad degree apply?
I mean, you finish in 3 years? That,
I don't know. You can ask them and see if they will come up with me for you.
who's that?
Yeah, you just.
As long as the degree is confirmed, right?
Yeah, if you have a degree that's conferred by May, you'll be fine. We do have a student this year that finished her undergrad in 3 years, and we have another student that finished her undergrad in 2 years. Right? She had in high school, she had a dual enrollment, enough credits that she got an associate's degree, and she finished UGA in 2 years. And we have another one that had enough AP credits when she started her degree here at UGA, and she graduated in 2 years.
Can you stop screen sharing so they actually can see you? And then what programs and software tools will students be learning in the program?
So did that work?
Yes.
So students will be learning, I mean, you're probably familiar with Excel and PowerPoint, but you're gonna learn more advanced traits with Excel and PowerPoint. You're gonna be learning SPSS, SAS, and R, which are statistical package. You're gonna be learning SQL and Tableau, which are all data for like the, you know, a software that gather data and also help you to create data visualizations. Any other? There's some more specific programs for like conjoint analysis, you know, that are very like dedicated to. Oh, you're also gonna learning programming surveys and analyzing data with Qualtrics and AYTM, 2 other platforms that we use here. Did I forget anything? So was software and was something else that they want to know? Or
Just programming.
Yeah,
software.
programming. So I'd say the heaviest in terms of statistics will be SPSS and SAS with a little bit of R. And then we do a lot of Excel and a lot of AYTM, and especially now in this semester, you guys are going to be doing a lot of Tableau with Charlotte, and PowerPoint and Excel throughout the entire program.
I have some experience with R from a biostatistics class. Would you guys recommend like doing an R certification or something before applying? Or would that make me a stronger candidate? Or,
I think that will probably help with the
okay,
you know application. So what's your major?
psychology.
Psychology.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be. And I don't know if we can take I know how easy it is for psychology students to take Terry College classes, but we have like a kind of like a marketing analytics track.
Okay,
You know, so if you can do on some of those courses that are taught by faculty that teaches in the program like that, Dr. John Wurst. So if you can do some of those courses, those are going to be very useful.
yeah, I'm in the minor right now and I have a class with Christy McManus right
Okay.
now, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christy teaches in the MMR program, like in the summer semester. It's kind of like, so the summer also, I forgot to say, the summer is designed for kind of like bring everybody to the same level. So for example, you did, yeah, so you did your major in psychology and you didn't take business classes. Some people might have taken business classes and not psychology or deep statistics. So we try to bring everybody to the same level during the summer semester.
Okay.
Any other questions here?
Are there any specific prerequisites for the program?
No, not really. So all you need is to, have the requirements from the application and that they're required by the graduate school and have a undergraduate degree conferred before the program starts in early June. And again, like the summer is really try to help people. Sometimes people, say like, well, you did a degree in a different area, so you might need, some business content, but also some of our students here, like Kathleen, for example, you graduated in 2018. Yeah, 2018. She was working at Cox Communications. So she's been out of the classroom for a few years. The summer kind of also help people that have been out of school to like get back into schools.
Very true. Are current undergrad students majoring in marketing at UGA considered to be preferred applicants?
No. Everybody is considered the same.
One thing I do want to point out is the admissions committee looks at the whole application on each applicant. They look at it as a whole, all together. They are very careful to select students that they believe will be successful in the program. We don't have students fail out, so.
Yeah, I've had situations where, a student that before we were offering GRE and GMAT waivers, a student that was, really great at every dimension that we're looking for, but the student had a GRE score that was below the level where we would usually grant somebody an assistantship. But maybe that person had a bad day or is a bad test taker under pressure, but everything else, it's like, perfect 4.0 from a great school, great letter of recommendations from people that have recommended multiple students to the MMR program, involved in many projects, experience and all that. I'm not gonna deem this person based on one data point when everything else checks.
Is it uncommon for a program to accept those who have relevant educational experience but worked in a career outside of marketing?
No, I think that's great for the program. It's great for the students to see diverse background. We also like to have international students based on because of the different experiences that they had. Growing up in different countries. I myself am from Brazil, and I can guarantee you things in Brazil don't work the way they work here, right? Like they're more surprised when things work the way they're supposed to than when it's like, wait, it worked as it was supposed to? So we want to our students here to have different perspectives. So we value this because you might be doing research, international research. A lot of our students now, some of them don't go straight to work internationally, but the research they are doing is international, right? So they, people at Kantar go to India to work on a project for Coke, right? Or people that are at Johnson & Johnson Vision, they go do research in contact lenses in China, right? So if you only have a perspective oh, everything works like the United States, that's not a good thing.
In terms of the job search, can you talk more about available help for applications, interviews, final offers? Is there a class for that, or is it based on how much help the student needs?
So we do have like a speaker, he works with the MBA students and he gives like a overview, and he's also available to meet with students and help and practice with interviews. Myself, a lot of times the spring semester, my office becomes like advisement for people looking for jobs, or help people to emotional support, help people to practice for interviews if they want to. So the application process tends to be very streamlined, because we have a very large number of companies that want to recruit from the program every year. So they come to the career fair, or they might not come to the career fair because they don't know if they have positions. And then after that, Jeannie, for those who are not here, is the program assistant. She will work with these companies to schedule on-campus interviews. So just to give you an idea, we had 17 students, probably I think 18 companies at the career fair. And then they got to meet these companies, and the companies got to meet them. And then now in the spring semester, we are doing interviews. So we already had 2 companies, right?
Yes.
Interviewing. So almost every Friday we have 3 companies.
3 to 1.
And almost every Friday we have 1 or more companies interviewing our students on campus.
So let me add back to that question. The success of our students is the goal of the program. So what he asked there, the bottom line is we will provide everything that you need to be successful when you finish the program.
Yeah. And we're looking for people that, are going to be able to be placed, on the job market, because I don't want companies coming here and then it's like, oh, Marcus, you're bringing all these people, but they're not really qualified. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to stop coming. Yeah. If we're not providing great talent, companies are not going to keep coming back to try to recruit from our program. So it's kind of like we're a platform, right? We're a credit card. I need to attract the companies, which are my retailers, and I need to attract the students, which are my consumers, right? So I need to market to both markets, right? And then sometimes, like last year, the economy was really hot. There was a lot of jobs, and that's one of the reasons why I think we have a smaller class this year. Fewer people apply to graduate programs, because I can always do a graduate program later on, but like I got this great job offer, let me go check it out, right? Then when the economy slows down, then people say, what, now may be an opportunity for me to go get my degree, or I got laid off and I don't want to gap on my resume. And then it tends to be like more demand for the program, or more demand for, so the ideal situation is an equilibrium, right? Where you have like, a good amount of interest from employers and a good amount of students interested in the program.
I can say something on that too.
Yeah.
Coming into the program, I was kind of balancing between MMR and business analytics, or just figuring out what I wanted to do. And now that I'm in here, I definitely made the right choice, but I see other people in MSBA or in some of the other grad programs I have friends with that do not have this streamlined process. They don't have companies coming every Friday that want to talk to us, or people we have people from all over trying to get us, and their other programs either don't have as established or don't have as many companies that are invested in the program, or they don't have anything at all. So it's people that are just feeling like, I don't know how to do this. So I feel very secure in what the path. Right now, I don't we're all interviewing and doing everything because we're at the beginning of the process, but the process is gonna work.
Yeah, I would be very careful of programs that don't have a track record of placing and having the support, because a lot of times they're going after your tuition, right? And they don't have the accountability to place the students, or even if you have an offer from an MBA program that does not require you having 3 to 5 years of management experience, you're not going to get the good job that MBAs with that kind of experience will get. So look for programs like ours that have a track record, that really care about students, care about their track record, rather than, hey, let's just tag the students along for more tuition, right? We know they want to do a master's program, so let's start something here in our university. So their tuition stays here and they don't go somewhere else with their tuition.
How many applicants do you typically receive each year?
So I checked today in terms of applications that have started. We are at 77 applications. And the majority of applications come really close to the deadline, which is February 15th. That's a departmental deadline. It's the deadline for trying the real deadline. And I don't want to give this an incentive for people to apply late, but no, it's the real deadline is May 1st.
So let's say, if you want to be considered for an assistantship, February 15th is the deadline.
I don't know, but I'm saying that we already, by tomorrow, we will have accepted 20 students, okay? So it's not like we are going to, like, after the deadline, we're gonna be looking for many more students. But of course, if somebody that's like, oh, I work in research for 3 years, I did my undergrad in psychology, I got to a point in my career where I cannot like progress without a master's degree, and they just only learn about the program in March or April. We will look closely into that kind of profile, but not to like kind of like the general. And also, as Jean mentioned, your chances for financial support will decrease, right? Because right now we are accepting students without making any financial decisions. We only make the financial decision when we see the entire set of students and say, okay, now relatively speaking, who are the people that we think will be a better fit for our assistantship? If you came in late, you might be accepted, but your chances for financial support will substantially decrease. So if we have been like on average 25, and we already, I'm going to be sending you 2 more applicants to be accepted tomorrow, but we already accepted 18, we already at 20, maybe we have 10 more slots. I'm not saying that all 20 that were accepted the program will accept our offer, right? But we have a very high yield. Our yield is over 90%, like most of the time around 95%. So almost everyone that we accept into the program tends to come enjoy the program.
So the students that are applying now are going to start in this summer?
June, yeah, early June, like I think June 8th.
Okay.
I think they changed the dates a little early because now UGA observes Juneteenth. So Juneteenth would be the first Monday when the MMRs would have the first class. So instead of starting on a Monday, we're going to start on a Thursday, the Thursday before whatever Monday we were used to.
Do you guys do early applications or?
We do, yeah, we do early
Yes.
admissions. Well, we do.
The application portal opens in August each year, and you can start applying. Like, are you talking about for the next cycle?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Applying.
August this year, it will open and you can start your application for the following year.
Okay.
So we do rolling admission, right? Because I don't want to on February 15, open the system and look at 120 applications, right? When I can based on the history of the MMR program, I know the people that were admitted early, I know they're like kind of like at the very top of the pool of applicants,
Right.
because we know the profile. I'm not going to go ahead and admit a student that later on thinks, but so many better applications came after that student, right? So I wish I had not accepted that student. So everybody that's accepted, I say I have no doubt that I will not regret after I see the entire set of applications.
It's good to know, because I thought the applications opened in the January.
No, yeah, I think whenever the graduate school opens, you can start the application process. And also, if you are not planning to apply, or even if you're planning to apply for this cycle now, reach out to our student ambassadors. they can organize like a visit. You know, you can come here, you can come for a speaker. We just had a student yesterday, she's admitted to the program and she came here, and she's also a psychology major from Georgia Tech, and she you know, sat in, we guys had 3 classes yesterday. Yeah, so she audited three classes yesterday. She met with me. So we want people come here and because you're not afraid. I know that if you come here and you experience what these students are experiencing, you're gonna choose our program. I flipped so many students that were kind of committed to other program, and they say, well, I know you're committed to, you know, just schools, Master of Marketing. Why don't you come here and visit? And then almost immediately they will take our offer. I love flipping. I had a student that, I'm not gonna say the university, but like a very prestigious university. She and her parents went to visit the program she was accepted in, and then it's like, you know what, let's just stop by UGA and check the MMR program. She was committed. She told her parents where she was gonna live and all that. And then was spring break, I remember I said like, hey, we have a prospective student visiting. She's committed to the other school. I know it's spring break, but is there anybody in town so we can take her out to lunch? Like, immediately 4 or 5 MMR say, we're coming, you know? And then we went out to lunch and I say, hey, take her around and, you know, show the city, and then come meet with me, show our lab and our, you know, classroom. And then her parents at graduation, her parents told, I don't know what you did, Marcus, but as soon as she got in the car, she said, forget about the other school, I'm coming here. You know, if the director of the program and the students are so committed to come here and make me feel like this, I want to be part of this program.
Right.
Any other questions?
Back to the GRE, what is like a score that you guys are looking for, average score?
So the GRE, we're hoping to get people in the above, like in the 3.8 and above, 3.08 and above.
Okay.
And above, yeah.
Both of the
So-
test score ranges are on our
Yeah.
website too.
Okay.
And then like, of course, like people that get assistantships, they tend to be higher GRE. I don't know how, now I think this, because of the tuition waiver, the test waivers, we're gonna have probably like fewer people taking the test. So, you know, the data is not gonna be as reliable, I think. Any other questions?
You want to do our panel?
What does a weekly schedule look like for an MMR student?
So maybe let's bring the MMRs up here and they can start talking a little bit about it. Enough about me.
Let's talk about that.
Change something on the camera so it's only on.
Hmm?
Like right here. The
Oh, yeah,
camera's,
let
like,
me make the
moving,
wider.
right, yeah.
The wide angle. Present a wide shot.
Start, can we get more ones?
Yeah.
Bring this up.
Yeah, so we can just take a minute to introduce ourselves, and any student-oriented questions we're also happy to help with. My name is Kathleen Reynolds. I'm one of the ambassadors. I went to UGA for undergrad, so I studied economics and marketing in undergrad. I graduated in 2020. I went to work at Cox Communications for a few years as a program manager, and just through my work experience, really realized that a career change was in order, and I was very excited to find insights, get connected with the program, and it's definitely lived up to my expectations. So from the experience of someone who's been working, if I had to go back and go like straight through undergrad, knowing what I know today, I would have probably gone straight through undergrad. It would have just set me on this career path a little bit sooner. I don't necessarily see the benefit from, in my particular story, of like having necessarily worked before, except it just like validated that interest for me. So happy to talk more about my personal story there if you're more interested in that. But another thing I was just going to say that really drew me to the program too is just how the legacy of this program and its reputation in the industry, and also our awesome like job placement rate. So that's something that, coming from industry, I was really looking for, is a program that had that really strong connection, the big MMR network that you're plugged into. And I know a lot of people, you know, their second, third jobs coming out of the program, a lot of it's through the network and who passes along information and who you're connected with. So that's a really awesome perk of being a part of the MMR community going forward.
Yeah, and I'm Katie. I'm the other student ambassador. So hopefully we've gotten to talk to some of you. And if not, you more than welcome, like Marcus said, to come to a visit day, ask us questions, all that kind of stuff. But I graduated from Clemson in December 2021. I graduated with a degree in business analytics management with a minor in psychology. I've honestly found analytics and psychology to be the perfect meld for marketing research. And I'm so glad that I got to come to this program. And speaking about my favorite part of the program, I would have to say it is the cohort style. So there's 17 of us this year. It was really nice coming from out of state to know that I was stepping into a program where I could immediately make close friends. So that's been great. We went to trivia last night. We're currently booking spring break, and it's been a lot of fun. But inside of the classroom, it's really nice to have people that you get to learn from, learn with, work on group projects, work on your corporate project. We spend lots of time studying together, helping each other out with assignments and group projects. So that's definitely my favorite part.
You forgot to mention that we almost won trivia.
We did win trivia. We were winning at number 1, but you know.
We're 4 points behind number 1. There's one question. There's a bonus question.
Yeah, it's okay.
We don't have to read it.
It's, maybe next week.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Rob Whaley. I came directly from undergrad. I did a digital marketing degree, and I had some certificates and random things that I had a good time doing. But I got to the end of my marketing journey, and I was like, well, I didn't get the data kind of science that I wanted. I was interested in R and SQL and understanding like how data actually worked, and I kind of got the hunger for that in the marketing research undergrad class. And then I heard about the program, and I was like, oh, it's very interesting. And then I got offered a grad position at a different part of the university. And so everything came together really well for me to be here. And it's the best decision that I've ever made. I love the networking part of it. I'm very extroverted, love talking to people. And so having socials like every other week during the summer, we had a couple at the beginning, a couple at the end, and then basically every other week. Like we have a ton of socials where a speaker will come in, we'll talk for an hour and a half or so in here, and then we'll go somewhere downtown or somewhere around Athens and get to talk with them about their experience in the industry. And they're oftentimes like really top tier people in whatever company that they're working at or company they started or whatever else that they're doing. So I love that, being able to connect with those people that are like many steps ahead, but then also the times that we get to be with people like just graduated. We at the job fair in December, a lot of the people that are there hiring are people that graduated a couple of years ago or people around Atlanta that are still connected with the program. And so it's nice that you're not going into like a scary job situation where it's like these unknown people. It's like people that were in our shoes a couple of years ago. So that's really cool. And yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of that alumni network. And then also we have our mentor network thing where we all have mentors. I think everybody has a mentor or two. Some people have mentors, and they're alumni of the program. My mentor is fantastic. You can call him up anytime. I was texting him yesterday, and then he was like, "I just gotta call you," so we talked for 20 minutes. And so it's a lot of great opportunities to develop yourself as a leader, and also connect with a lot of people that are interested and about to go into the same industries.
Yeah, so I'm Christina. I went here undergrad and I graduated last spring. While I was here undergrad, I did marketing, but then I also did minor in communications and a certificate in actuarial science, which at the time I was like, I don't know what this all means. And then I found the program and I was like, oh, like it's perfect. So going into the program, something that I really enjoyed was the fact that everyone's so dedicated. I feel like in undergrad, you get a group project and you're like, oh gosh, like not again, it's gonna be terrible. I felt like it was very different. Everyone's really motivated. Everyone really wants to be a part of the group project. A great example of that was last semester, we did a cool hunting project and we got to choose our topic, and our group chose dating apps. So we got to do both a qualitative side and a quantitative side, where we held focus groups. We talked to students on campus about their like dating app experience, their dating life experience, and then we also got to back it up with a quant survey. And by the end, I mean, like we really enjoyed it. We spent a lot of time together. We found some really cool things, and it was just really fun project. I really enjoyed it.
All right, hi, I am Prayas. So I have a little bit of different background compared to other people. I have an MBA and then I wanted to pivot my career a little bit. So when I looked into like a lot of different programs, I basically looked into like MS in marketing, but a lot of stuff that was there in MS in marketing was something that I already knew from my previous work experience. So I was like, I looked into the marketing research program and that was very impressive. So that's how I applied to the program. And once I've been into the program, so I felt that the program is very rigorous and very focused. A lot of things that I thought I would be relearning or like learning again, there's not much of things that I've learned again. So a lot of stuff that I've been learning is like completely new. So, and then the thing that I've loved a lot about MMR program is that the things that when I was doing my MBA or like even during like undergrad, you guys can probably relate. A lot of classes are the ones that you have to take because you have to graduate. But then with MMR, all the classes that I've taken is like everything that I have taken is something new that I've learned. It's not like something I just have to take and then just to graduate. It's like something that I'm learning, like from every class I learned something. So that's something that I very much loved about MMR. In terms of other stuff, as Rob already said, the social hour of networking and then free snacks, free beer, that's awesome.
How could I forget?
Yeah, so that's the best part. And as everybody loves about this program, the cohort thing is really nice because when you take like different classes in different rooms, you don't, I mean, you see a different person when in different classes, but then over here you see like same faces every day, and then you build a very close network, very close group, and it's a fun way to learn basically.
When answering her question, what does a day look like, or can you give an overview of the 3 semesters, what they feel like? Or...
Yeah.
I've got it. So for your summer semester, as we touched on before, this is going to be a semester that really catches everybody up in the program. People come from different backgrounds. So we have some people that never took a marketing class, people that have never done any kind of analytics. So getting everybody up to speed on that. So that's a little bit of a longer day. So your classes are just all your classes about 3 hours, I think that's about right. But the nice thing about that is you have 4 classes, 2 of them are shorter weeks, which is nice. And you're just focusing on getting to know your classmates, getting to know your professors, and learning your stuff for school, because you don't have your corporate project yet. You don't have a graduate assistant position, or what else am I forgetting? Or the seminars series, we touched on that. And then in the fall semester, in the spring semester, that's a little bit more of your normal class schedule that you're used to in college. So normal class blocks for that, which is really nice. And then we get to do all of our corporate projects and speaker theories and graduate assistant stuff starts back up. But in terms of a normal everyday, we usually have some kind of class in the morning, and then after that, it kind of leaves time for all of our group projects, corporate projects, anything else that you need to get done.
Just to add on to what Katie said too, all our classes are here in this room, so for all 213. So it's kind of nice having a home-based classroom. And then we have a computer lab that's just for MMR students. So go over there anytime, go find people working on different projects. It's a great place to study when finals are coming up. So a lot of studying, a lot of group work. There's also a lot of rooms in the basement of this building for graduate students. So you can book those, have your group project meetings there. We get 24/7 key card access with our student IDs to this building and to the computer lab building. So you can swipe in and come in and study anytime. Does that answer your question? I think we have one in the chat too from Will. He said, what, if anything, do students tend to find the most surprising or challenging about the MMR program?
Yeah. Most surprising is that it doesn't really feel like work. It feels like we're all together, like Fresh said, we're learning all day long. We're learning every single class, every single group project is a new experience. I've never felt like, oh, we just have to do this again. We have to run this analysis again. Like we are, if you like to learn, like you're seriously going to learn a lot in this program. And especially since it's bringing the 2 sides of my brain together, the analytical and the like need to know like answers and also like needing to know people and understanding people and wanting to like be able to understand consumer behavior and stuff. That's bringing all of it together. So for me, it doesn't feel like, it feels like we're working together to like make cool stuff and like be able to find things out. So that was super surprising to me. I kind of felt like, oh, I'll like learn this thing and I'll learn this other program and then I'll get a job and that'll be the rest of my life. But it's been just such a rewarding experience. And the most challenging part, I mean, they're just late nights. And you know, some of those are a little bit more difficult, but like I said, we do it all together a lot of the time. And so it feels like we're working together to a common goal. It doesn't feel like you're out on your own little island trying to figure things out. Everybody works together and helps each other.
Yeah, I would go off of that too. Like if you're gonna do some kind of late night event project, you're doing it with other people. So it's all really nice to like rely on your cohort to be there with you through all of it.
Anything else?
I saw that second question that popped up and I feel like my answer kind of ties into that. They asked what it's like balancing like work, life, finding a job, all that stuff. And this also goes with like the most difficult thing kind of. I just found that you have to be very intentional with your time. So you have to kind of know like for this hour, like I'm gonna dedicate it to this class. So this hour I'm gonna dedicate it towards like preparing for an interview. Like you just have to be very intentional. And that's something that like you learn as it comes. And I like didn't really expect that to be a tool that I learned, but I mean, you just learn how to be intentional and how to organize your time better.
How many hours do you guys take a semester?
It's like what, 12 real classes?
Corporate projects, and then the speaker series and the corporate project. So real meaning like classroom classes versus like work that's not like strictly scheduled or on a regular basis.
So in theory, it's fall and spring semesters are 15 credit hours and summer is 10 and a half. And so, but of those 15 hours, 3 hours, 1 credit and a half each are dedicated to the speaker series and to the corporate projects. So the schedule kind of varies. So like, you know, maybe we'll have a corporate projects a day or two in a week, and then you have a speaker that week. So it's not like a fixed schedule.
I think it's pretty much equivalent to a full-time job. It's just not 8 to 5 every day.
Right.
But it is pretty much like a full-time job.
Sometimes they're really busy and they're here on the weekends. You know, they get access to the building so they can work on projects.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're playing trivia.
I mean, it seems like a very good, setup and path towards like a full-time job. Like, do you guys feel more prepared for your full-time jobs? Or like coming from undergraduate school?
I did, well, my prospects were either going into the music industry, because that was kind of my undergrad experience, with certificates and stuff, and trying to do marketing in there, which would have been really difficult. But like, I like music, but like not enough to like take a 30K a year job and work my way up in Nashville or wherever LA I might be going, or doing like SEO and digital marketing, content creation, which I like some of those things, but I didn't want that to be my career. So now that I am fully in marketing research, I feel like this is exactly what I want to be doing. And I feel like I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna have a great time wherever I end up.
You know, we also often hear from employers, they say like, on average, when they hire somebody, they expect the person's not going to be able to contribute until like 6 months into the job that they're learning. They say your students are ready to contribute day one, right? And if you look at a really large corporation like Eli Lilly, they hire from a program every year, and for the past 10 years or so, I think one of our MMRs was selected as the Rookie of the Year. And some of them have received like the CMO award, like which are very high awards at high level awards at Eli Lilly. So the fact that these companies keep coming back every year is that they're getting like students that are really prepared to contribute.
The two things I'll add on as far as like preparation for your corporate job. So the group project work that we do in the MMR program is very much like resembles like the group project work that you'll have in a corporate job. which is like all the time and constantly, and you'll have like meetings to figure things out. It's just like constant communication. It's very different than undergrad, but from working, it's like very similar to working. And then another thing, just as far as like the soft skills that you'll start developing. So presentation skills, like you're definitely gonna get good at, you're gonna get a lot better at presenting and speaking off the cuff and just being conversational. You get a lot more comfortable with that. And that's something that even having work experience, I wasn't as comfortable with that as I am now, just having the immersion through the program. And so that's something that the program does a really good job about, is just immersing you in, these are the skill sets, these are the tools you're developing, these are the situations that you'll be in, and you'll just get more comfortable over time.
One of the most surprising eye-opening times was the company came for a immersion day last year, and Kathleen and I were on a team. Were you on the same team? Yeah, so we were on a team to like make this like new product thing, a new marketing strategy that included marketing and research and different, like all different kind of things. And we were like getting the data and understanding where we need to be. And then they were like, all right, you guys are gonna present in 20 minutes. And we were like, we didn't even have a PowerPoint, like we had nothing at that point. And like we put it together in like 22 minutes flat and got up here and we all presented and did a really fantastic job. But just like seeing where we were during the summer and where I was like in undergrad to now, like holy cow, it was unbelievable. So that moment was one of the times I was like, dang, this program actually does set you up to do what you're doing.
And then for any of you out there that like don't like public speaking, that was me. And the fact that I'm standing up here and I'm talking to you and I like do all my presentations and like don't get as nervous about it is a really big deal. So if you're like, oh, I don't think that'll ever be me, they must all be like really good at presentations or really extroverted. That's not me and I can do it, so you can do it too.
Any other questions or questions online?
I guess like group project or like your project, do all 17 of you guys work together or you guys split up in groups?
So anywhere from like 2 to probably most of the times like 5.
Really? Oh, okay.
But usually they try to break up the classroom. There's like 4 to 5 different groups.
Yes, so for the corporate project, I think we have like 5 or 6 companies that are sponsoring, and these companies pay a good amount of money to do the corporate project, and we think that's important because then they have skin in the game, right? If it's just like, oh, it's a school project, we don't really care. Somebody signed that they're going to be doing that project right, on the company side, so they do make sure that they meet with the students and the progress is being made.
And those groups are 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Each.
So the corporate project groups, they're together fall and spring semester, but there are other class projects, if I'm right, it will be different teams of them throughout the year, so they have a chance to work with.
We had about 11 group projects today, and there's a lot more on the horizon.
Who's counting?
But it's one of the skills that you're actually learning, because when you're in the industry, you're going to be working with different teams. You need to learn to work with different people and.
And another thing, like it's a balance. It's not just a group project. So, for example, I think my course is heavy on individual assignments. We have one team assignment. I think Charlotte is probably heavy on the individual assignment because we also don't want that situation where you have a team and it's like, oh, you're really good at PowerPoint, so you're going to do PowerPoints. Oh, he's really good at programming Qualtrics and she's really good at doing analysis. We're going to buy that. But maybe you want to learn more how to do analysis, and maybe how you want to learn more, but you are always the PowerPoint person, right? So that's why we also have a lot of individual assignments, so everybody gets experience with the different tools, and then you might learn if you like it or not, but that's an opportunity which sometimes can be biased in a group if everything is in group projects. Cool. Well, if there are no more questions, thanks to everybody who attended online and the people that came here in person. It was a great attendance. I think we had over 20-something people attending. If you guys have any questions, if it's an easy question, ask me. If it's time-consuming, ask Jeannie. We have, again, our application is our departmental deadline is on February 15. And if you'd like to be considered for a test waiver, email me your resume and your transcript, and we're gonna be posting this this video on our website. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.